Hey, everybody, welcome to the Sky Lounge podcast, episode number 225. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Follow me at the Sky Lounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music, and also check out the Sky Lounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And without any further ado, let's get shit started with episode number 225, Automated Affection of Adventurous August Sports Trek. Bit adventurous, and the reason why I am putting on a fucking frown right now and looking away from the screen is because, actually, let me click this off. I just went 0 for 4 today on my fucking betting on hockey, which is what I want to start talking about right now, boys and girls. Well, before we talk about the betting stuff that I did, let's talk about the stuff that's going around in the league right now. Thankfully, no COVID-19 positive results, 0 in the NHL bubble. That is great fucking news. Good job, Canada. Good job, Toronto. Good job, Edmonton. Got to give shout-outs there. Because you're keeping the fucking environment safe and you're giving sports. That's awesome. Although, listen, as a Vegas Golden Knights fan, watching the round robins are kind of a chore. Mainly because it just feels like exhibition games that you just see what your team is capable of, what they need to work on, any kind of inconsistencies they can fix up. And really, as a Vegas Golden Knights fan, all you have to think is, okay, cool. Just don't fucking lose too much, right? And don't lose the confidence and, the cohesiveness that you've built throughout the last few months as a team. So, try your best. Don't fucking go out there and lose on fucking purpose, right? But, it's hockey. Anything can fucking happen. Just like how the Dallas Stars and the Boston Bruins went 0 for 2 in their first 2 round-robin games. Therefore, they are automatically going to be null and void on the first seed. Okay. So let me rephrase that. The Dallas Stars and the Boston Bruins, because they lost 2 games out of the 3 possible round robin games, they have already eliminated themselves out of first seeding contention. So at best, if I'm not mistaken, the best they can do is 3rd. But what it honestly seems like is both Dallas and Boston looking to be in 4th place. Probably go 0 for 3 in the round robin. And I actually fucking predicted that shit. Or educated guessed that shit. On the fucking, NHL season restart educated guessing board, prediction board. Whatever the fuck you want to goddamn call it. But I gotta tell you what, man. The NHL has been absolutely fucking fantastic. And yeah, again, going 0 for 4 on all the fucking playoff qualifier games today kind of pisses me off, but it is what it is. It's a fucking gambling world. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Going 0 for 4 though, not great. What's also not great is the Rangers getting swept by the Carolina Hurricanes 3-0, and the Rangers are the first team out of the NHL bubble. What this also means is King Henrik Lundqvist, he's done. I mean, the whole thing right now with the New York Rangers, they got 3 goaltenders they can just kind of rotate around between Shesterkin, Georgiev, and Lundqvist. And Lundqvist, because of age, because of relative depreciation in play, will probably be looking to leave. And it's unfortunate because this is the man who has given his life and soul to this organization. And, sometimes it's its own fault. But honestly, I look at this playoff series against the Hurricanes and think, Mika Zibanejad coming out after, I believe, they said on a fucking stat there, after February, Mika Zibanejad was one of the highest goal scorers in the league at 22 within like a very short span, within like a month period. But none of that offense showed up, really. If I'm not mistaken, please look this up, boys and girls, but based on all the fucking games I've seen in those 3 fucking matchups with the Hurricanes and the Rangers went 1 for 14 on the power play. Like, you could try to blame Lundqvist all you want, but if you go 1 for 14 on a fucking power plays, like in 3 separate games, and in game 1, you went 0 for 7 on the power play, that is a fucking problem. And let's be really fair, though. As much as I'm shitting on the Rangers, goddamn, the Hurricanes were amazing. Svechnikov, with the Hurricanes franchises, I apologize. Uh, my fucking wording is all getting jumbled up, but Andrei Svechnikov with the franchise's first ever playoff hat trick in franchise history. That's absolutely incredible. And Sebastian Aho just becoming an elite center in front of our very eyes. And this team and the Carolina Hurricanes, I underestimated them. I thought their goaltending situation was going to be very iffy, but Reimer in Game 3 was absolutely fantastic. Now, I wish I could say the same about Lundqvist, but he wasn't in the first two games. I mean, yeah, Shesterkin got in there in Game 3, and I think he did okay. But I think the overall vibe from that series I get is the Rangers weren't good enough as a unit. And it sucks. It sucks seeing that shit, but this is hockey, kids. It's a brutal fucking sport. And what's also more brutal is, again, losing bets. It sucks. Like, the Blackhawks are now up 2-1 in their series against the Edmonton Oilers. And they grab a 4-3 win today to go up in the series 2-1. And I got to tell you, you got Draisaitl, seemingly the presumptive MVP for the league this season, and Connor McDavid, arguably one of the best players in the league right now. Yet despite all of that, Chicago fucking jumped on your ass. Crawford makes some big saves down the line. And for a minute there, Koskinen looked like he was going to get replaced by Smith, which would have been an absolute fucking train wreck. But now the Edmonton Oilers are fighting for their lives. It's that simple. I mean, you're down 2-1. You only have one fucking game left. If you lose, you're going home. Technically, you already are home, Edmonton, but you're going to fucking go home. And that would be a true disappointment on Edmonton's part if you can't capitalize off of Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid both having 100 fucking points this season. That's ludicrous. And what will be more ludicrous is if this team in the Edmonton Oilers wins a number 1 overall pick. I'd be so fucking pissed. Because, yeah, I'm a Vegas Golden Knights fan. This fucking team in the Edmonton Oilers is in this goddamn division called the Pacific Division. And as a Vegas Golden Knights fan, I have to see the fucking Oilers 4 goddamn times fighting against my team. Minimum. I don't want to see that shit because they're actually pretty fucking good. And they've been getting progressively better throughout the years I've been, watching hockey. Not that long, but, for a good time, Edmonton wasn't that great. But here they are in the precipice of becoming great, and now they meet the Blackhawks, who have been on a fucking mediocre year. But, yeah, Jonathan Toews, still good. I can't believe people still count this guy out. Jonathan Toews is absolutely fantastic when he needs to be. Now, would that have been better in the regular season? Probably, but they're getting results now. They're up in the series 2-1. And all they need to do is just get one more game, Chicago, and Edmonton goes home in their own home in the bubble. So that should be fucking great. Much like how the next game, which is another bet that I lost, in the series that is the Florida Panthers taking on the New York Islanders, that series is now in the favor of the Islanders 2-1. Now, the Islanders were up to 2-0. They could have closed the series out earlier today, but they didn't because the Panthers came alive and Bobrovsky started doing his fucking job. Oh, but they got a 2-1 loss yesterday. You can't fault Bobrovsky for that. I could fault Bobrovsky for a lot of fucking things, mainly because, kids, he gets paid $10 million fucking dollars a year, and he's on like a fucking 7-8+ skier contract. You expect more, especially in situations like these. You got Joel Quenneville. You got Huberdeau. You got Dadonov. You got all these fucking pieces and cats in Florida. Hell, Brian Boyle doing shit today. Good Lord, kids. Don't give me excuses for Florida. For me, I have to look at the Islanders and think, really? You're gonna... You're just gonna try to blow the series? Just kind of saw a lackadaisical Islanders team in Game 3, but maybe I'm saying that because of losing a bet. It makes you salty. Losing bets make you salty. I can't fucking lie about that. Just like how I hold so much fucking salt on the Pittsburgh Penguins right now. I had the fucking Penguins, and mind you, every bet I lost, I had the teams that I was betting for at -1.5, and the Penguins being at the puck line at -1.5, I thought they were gonna fucking win. I thought they were gonna win by 2 fucking points, 2 goals, but they didn't. They didn't. Montreal pants them, and now Montreal is up in the series 2-1. And the Canadiens, with Carey Price, look incredible. I'm not saying their defense and offense means anything in my eyes. Whatever. I could do without Domi. I could do without Tatar. They're just kind of whatever to me. To me, Carey Price is flat out telling you what a $10 million goaltender is capable of doing. Bobrovsky. He is stealing the series right now. Carey Price is carrying this fucking team right now. And Pittsburgh is in real fucking danger of getting eliminated. And I have to look at a cat like Evgeny Malkin. That defense. And that fucker Matt Murray, who Sullivan seems to have a hard-on for, but I have a feeling that, hey, maybe Game 4, you should put in Tristan Jarry, who seems to be the better goaltender, but playoff consistency. You're about to be fucking knocked out and going home out of the fucking playoffs, so have fun with that goddamn excuse, Sullivan. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Just an absolute shit show right now. Kind of like the Winnipeg Jets. Listen, they got the fucking win against Calgary to tie the series. Then the Calgary Flames pounced on the Jets in Game 3 to take the series lead up 2-1. And in Game 3, you kind of saw the unraveling of Connor Hellebuyck making dumb mistakes, and maybe the Flames can capitalize on this. And still, a depleted Jet squad, no Laine, no Scheifele. You could take advantage pretty handedly. And I think in Game 4, we could definitely see that. Will Calgary flat out close out? I don't fucking know. I don't goddamn know. Some of these teams, you wonder what all the bravado of the regular season and all that shit was for. When right now, they're farting out. Kind of the Nashville Predators. Where Arizona has now a 2-1 lead against the Nashville Predators. The Coyotes are surprisingly good. Yeah. Kemper, when he's on, he's on. He's immaculate. Kemper has been one of the fucking highlights of Arizona because nobody watches Arizona, but as a division fan, Pacific Division fan, Vegas Golden Knights fan, what the fuck, can't speak my goddamn words because it's all fucking human. My brain is all stupid, but here's the thing. As a Pacific Division rival team, Vegas Golden Knights fan, I see the Arizona Coyotes all the fucking time. And I understand how actually good they can be. They are finally capitalizing on the talents that they got. Will they be able to close out the series in Game 4? That is to be determined. Do I think they will? I think Nashville is going to pull a fucking surprise punch and tie the series 2-2, but inevitably, I think this is in Arizona's court. I mean, you're up 2-1. You have no excuses at this point. You just won Game 3 in a pretty convincing fashion, 4-1. So you should be able to win it. I mean, hell, you lost my fucking bet, Nashville, so thanks. I take this shit so fucking personally. At the same time, I don't. I curse up a fucking storm, get up all of my fucking feelings. But at the end of the day, if I lose a bet, I lose a bet. That's really it. And that's the fun nature of sports gambling, right? And I'm looking at these next 2 series that are tied up right now and debating whether I should put money in it or not. The Columbus Blue Jackets, now let's talk about the first series before we talk about both of them. The Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow. Series is tied 1-1. I mean, you have to look at that Toronto team and think, that's a lot of fucking money. You should be able to do something. Now, the Jake Muzzin injury will definitely hamper, efforts moving forward for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But I really think they should be able to pull through with all the shit that they've paid for. But on the other hand, you have John Tortorella. Stoic, Hilarious. Toronto played better than us. We sucked. Literally his fucking soundbite after game 2. Brilliant stuff. But you know Torts is capable of mental finesse in the game. You know his team is capable of stern, solid defense and relatively a metronome kind of game, aka boring game, which is honestly not a fucking diss. It's a compliment. You can maintain consistency for 3 periods, lull out your opponents, and somehow grab a win. That's phenomenal shit. And if Tortorella can get game 3, I don't know, man. I don't think Toronto has the mental fortitude nor the maturity to get themselves up. But that's just me talking after, watching Toronto pretty frequently. If I'm not gonna lie, man, I watch Toronto quite a bit, and I just see this, I don't know, peacock nature in Toronto that I'm not too fond of. I love the talent, but I don't think that grit and maturity is there. And again, not having Jake Muzzin, I think that's going to play huge change in how Toronto plays and how well they can play on that defense. So we'll see how it goes. Much like the same kind of situation with Minnesota Wild taking on the Vancouver Canucks. That series tied 1-1. Another young team, not overpaid yet, much like the Toronto Maple Leafs, but they're going to be on a fucking cap crunch real soon here. Guys like Besser. I know Pettersson in 2 years or so, he's going to be up for a big pay raise. Obviously, drafting Quinn Hughes this season, technically this season, last season, has been a benefit to them. Quinn Hughes has been pretty damn good the last 2 games. The first game was kind of a brain-dead fucking game for the Vancouver Canucks, but overall, the young talents have been pretty stern and pretty solid. Now, this is where I draw the similarity with the Columbus Blue Jackets for the Minnesota Wild. Very metronome-like team, too. They don't have to win in flashy ways. They just kind of buckle down, do their shit for 3 periods, lull you in, and grab a win. And Vancouver has to figure that shit out. And by all means, teams like Toronto and Vancouver with the skills should by all means fucking win the series. But when you got coaches that can fucking put you in the metronome lull state, it's very difficult. So we're going to have to see what these teams can actually pull through. Who do I think is going to pull out of the tight series right now between, Columbus Blue Jackets and Toronto Maple Leafs and the Minnesota Wild and the Vancouver Canucks? I honestly think Toronto is going to make it out of it somehow. But with the Vancouver and Minnesota one, it's kind of a toss-up. If Vancouver's defense can stop leaking, 2-3 goals and maybe help Markstrom out, I think Vancouver can win. But if Minnesota pounces on them from the early get-go in Game 3 in the first period, first 30 minutes of the game, I think Vancouver is going to have a really rough time trying to climb back. But this has been the NHL. Absolutely fantastic. Just pure action, and I can't get enough of it. And something that we're definitely going to get a lot and enough of real soon is the NFL. Training camp is fully on, boys and girls, so it is just a wonderful time seeing, NFL coming back. But players do have the option of opting out, and that deadline is tomorrow, Thursday, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm curious to see what big names will opt out. Obviously, some key names, like Nate Solder was one of those guys. Son of a bitch, I can't fucking remember every one of them. I know the Rams maybe had a player or two, right? No, probably not. I could be wrong, but again, I honestly don't know who's going to opt out, who is going to stay for the season, but it is very curious to note and see. But what's also curious is the XFL has been purchased by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, along with Redbird Capital Partners for approximately $15 million. $15 million, that's nothing, relatively speaking, for a sports league, right? $15 million. Well. A WWE star buys a WWE owner's product. Good shit. you're buying dad's product and hoping it can last. Because that's kind of an unfair statement. Yeah, the pandemic put a halt to the XFL season where it looked to be going really well. I thoroughly enjoyed the XFL's return this season, or just a couple months back. I was cheering on the Seattle Dragons. They were fucking dog shit, but it was a very enjoyable affair, the XFL. Now, can they sustain, their product on the field for a full season? Can they keep garnering interest after football where, to be fair, I mean, the ratings weren't all that spectacular because you see football fatigue after a while, especially in March. But very curious to see how this new XFL will be, and best of luck to the owners. Now, in the world of football, soccer, I don't really say that shit because I think most of the fucking owners of major European clubs are pieces of shit. But these pieces of shit, got good players in their squads. And if you're good enough, you're in the Champions League. Or kind of in the B tier, you're in the Europa League. And Arsenal can't even do that, so I can't talk shit. But the Champions League and Europa League will be continuing their action this week. And I believe Europa actually continued earlier today. And I am very interested in seeing who is going to make it to the final in the respective competitions. But do I give a shit? Not really. No. Because my team's not in it. We suck. So not going to have a real interest in it, but I'll definitely watch. And, there's a cat that I have no emotional displacement for, but I feel pretty bad for him because he was part of a winning team in Real Madrid. And of course, I am talking about Iker Casillas, who announced his retirement earlier this week. And it's crazy because the way he was forced out of Real Madrid was heartbreaking. This is a club that he's given his, blood, sweat, and tears for, won multiple trophies for, but pretty much exiled to Portugal after, a relatively ugly split from the club. But, if you're a Madrid fan, I mean, you can be a little sad, but you won back-to-back Champions League titles. So, yeah, not really feeling sad for Madrid. Kind of feeling bummed out for Iker Casillas, though. So, best of luck to whatever he does, after his retirement. And, football goes on. Football does go on. And it'll go on for a club named Fulham, who have earned their promotion after beating Brentford in the championship playoff fucking final, I guess. 2-1 in extra time. So Fulham will be heading back into the Premier League. And we got another London club. In the Premier League. Isn't that nice? We just got rid of Watford. Now we're getting Fulham back in there. Okay, great. How long are you guys gonna stay this time around? Until December? January? Kind of like Norwich. So, I'm very curious. Last time Fulham was in the Premier League, they didn't stick around all that long. And so, oof. Yeah, but good job on winning and getting promoted. Hope you do. I mean, I can't really gain that perspective of championship club because I'm an Arsenal fan. We suck, but we've never been relegated. So I wouldn't know. That shit. Very cocky of you. I know. I shouldn't be. Because Arsenal is just arse anal for a reason. You got all these other clubs like Inter. To be fair, Inter is getting a leftover in Alexis Sanchez, who probably has a few good seasons left, but toss away. Clubs like Manchester City are signing Nathan Ake for £45 million. Clubs like Manchester United are potentially signing Jadon Sancho for upwards of £100 million. And Arsenal is first in line to sign free agent Willian, former Brazilian player from Chelsea. And you're left to wonder, why the fuck are you just getting Chelsea Brazilian leftovers? What the fuck is going on? And then you realize with Arsenal that this club, no matter how much success you can gain in a given year, they will always revert back to banter status. They always do. We just won an FA Cup last week. It hasn't even been a fucking week. Okay, it hasn't even been a fucking week, but Arsenal has already reverted back to their Arsenal ways, announcing 55 redundancies in the club. Now, as far as I know, redundancies mean firing, cutting, whatever fucking term you want to use. English shit. They do it fancy, whatever. But you cut 55 fucking jobs, dude. And one of the fucking jobs include the international scout that has been responsible for bringing in talented Brazilians into the side and squad. Like Gabriel Martinelli. The scout's been in the club for 20 fucking years. And the fucking thug administrators oust him and 55 other fucking people because your fucking owner is a scumbag piece of shit. Oh, you're an Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal fan, but I don't fucking like Stan Kroenke. Fuck that guy. Fuck Stan Kroenke. Fuck the Kroenkes. Fuck all of you, man. Like, you know when the Rams do really poorly, I find so much joy in that shit because Stan Kroenke is there crying. Oh, but he's still making money. Yeah, that's kind of the horrible nature of the NFL. They'll make money no matter what. But when they lose, that makes me feel good. Like the Rams losing, 49ers losing, it makes me feel good. But, you know, Stan Kroenke owning the club that I love, makes me feel like shit. So, that's a fair balance. That is a fair balance, boys and girls. But what isn't a fair balance is the media coverage involving the NBA. Let me talk about this real quick. Luka Doncic is the youngest player in NBA history to register a 30-point, 20-rebound, 10-assist triple-double. Yet, one of the first fucking things you see on Wednesday's ESPN's First Take is talking about the fucking Houston Rockets and the goddamn Portland Trailblazers game, sucking off LeBron James, and debating all this bullshit about bubble players and who the fuck is going to win the championship, the Clippers, the Lakers, or the Bucks. That is literally the only fucking things I ever hear. Oh, and cherry on top, this big fat fucking cherry on top called Zion Williamson is shoved down your fucking throat every fucking time you turn on ESPN. Because why? They want to suck off this kid's money and potential revenue from day one, and it is nauseating. It is absolutely fucking nauseating. Zion Williamson is a good player, but he is not God. ESPN and the NBA is pretty much, because of his shoe contract, because of his fucking notoriety coming out of Duke, is making this cat the biggest fucking thing since sliced bread. And clearly, he's not. The Pelicans, mediocre as hell since the return. Whereas the Dallas Mavericks, my God, Luka's showing up. Luka is flat out telling the world, like, hey, this is what I can do, but you're ignoring it. So don't be fucking surprised when Luka pulls up in a series and grabs a fucking surprise win. Just fucking saying, kids. You motherfuckers keep telling me, oh, it's the Clippers. Dude, I look at teams like Dallas. I look at teams like OKC. I look at teams like fucking Utah. And I see disruptors and teams that could really fuck up the heavy favorites, like the Lakers, the Clippers, and, you know, obviously in the East, you have Miami, you have Toronto, you have Boston, who can really fuck up with the trajectory of the Milwaukee Bucks. But again, I mean, mainstream media is never going to focus on that shit. Mainstream media is only going to talk about the fucking teams that are making the most bucks. And honestly, it's nauseating. Even as a Lakers fan, I hate hearing about the Lakers all the fucking time. There's a whole channel dedicated to that shit. So maybe like ease off on the Lakers talk when you talk about the NBA for a bit. But of course, LeBron James, you got to talk about that fucker. It is Wonton Wednesday. So you got to suck off the fucking king, right? Even though his fucking team lost in a lackadaisical effort tonight against the OKC Thunder by like nearly 20 points. But hey. Fuck LeBron James. Dude, fuck LeBron James, man. I can appreciate him as a player, but fuck him as a person. Seriously. Hey, all this shit he's doing. He's a fucking big-ass fucking hypocrite who makes millions of dollars and tries to virtue signal at regular-ass people just trying to live their lives. Dude, go fuck yourself. You goddamn communist son of a bitch. Oh, my God. I love sports, but sports is fucking dying in front of my eyes. Like Major League Baseball. I mentioned the name Major League Sports, Major League Baseball. I already laughed my ass off. Because, again, this is a hilarious reminder to you boys and girls that Rob Manfred is still a commissioner of a professional sports league in the United States of America. A real tragedy, ladies and gentlemen. But what do you expect? This is a league that can't fucking maintain any kind of kung flu protocols, yet the commissioner himself says, our protocols are working. How many series have you canceled in the last 2 weeks? You're really gonna fucking tell me there isn't any fucking issue with the protocols that you set up, motherfucker? Holy fucking shit. Why don't you just have a fucking 3 or 4 city bubble? That you can have divisions or conferences that you can set up. No? Oh yeah, because you're fucking money hungry players, you're shit ass owners, and yourself, Rob Manfred, just could not fucking see it in yourself to figure out a fucking plan. But that's not your fault. It's kung flu. It's all this shit. Fuck you. Fuck you. I love sports, but the institutions and organizations that run them, they suck ass. They do. They do, man. But ultimately, kids, sports in August. I like it. I like it a lot. I do. And on the next episode of the SoundCloud, let's see where the wind farts us to next. Should be a fun time, right? Right? Right. All right. All right, motherfuckers. I appreciate you dropping by this episode. Follow me at the SoundCloud on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Music. And also check out the SoundCloud on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Until next time, fuck off. Starting all fucking episode. It happens. Just got the shower. All fucking sticky and shit. Lost 4 bets, but... We'll be back. Fuck off.